So, what's the deal with Columbus, eh? You know, the guy was a serial killer. He was a rapist. He ran a sex trafficking ring. Should we really be celebrating him? You know, I would bring this up to people, and some people would probably accuse me of revisionist history because they think that the people that they've been taught to worship from elementary school is somehow the greatest people on earth, but they really aren't. Elementary school history is not real history. I don't know what the obsession is in this country with simplistic versions of history that don't tell much of history at all, really. It's like a Nickelodeon cartoon that they believe. But do I think that we should take Columbus Day away from Columbus and then give it to the Native Americans? You know, the Aztecs alone could be seen as being as bad as Hitler, okay? They killed like a good 40,000 people a year, I think, is what I remember the number being. That's pretty bad. Yeah, they didn't do it for money, they didn't do it out of racism, but they did it for their religion. You know, and it really doesn't matter what the motivation is. Dead is dead, right? The Aztecs were basically, for all intents and purposes, the Hitler and Stalins of the Native American world. And I think Cortez was quite right to take them out. You know, a lot of people don't like to hear that, but it's the truth. You know, so it's not just white people that have treated people like shit throughout history. Everybody has treated each other like shit. You know, Genghis Khan, if you want to go into the Asian areas, he treated people like shit. And there's all sorts of African warlords and the such like. You know, Africans were selling their own into slavery. You know, and yes, we do learn about that in history class as well. I do remember that. You know, I mean, in Africa, slavery was mostly, like being indebted to somebody. But when the Africans in charge realized, hey, we could just sell slaves to the Europeans, to get money, they just kind of did that. So, yes, people have treated others and their own like shit for ages, And I think that is also something that is very important to be learned in history as well. It's not just white people going around treating people like shit. It's everybody going around treating everybody else like shit. Right? But coming back to the question, what should we do with Columbus Day? Should we celebrate this asshole who was put in prison in his own time for brutality? No, I really don't think. I mean, they're always complaining whenever a black person that gets shot by the police gets a statue, but then they go and give Columbus a statue, who was also a criminal. There's this complete doublethink in society. If it's a historical figure and he was an asshole criminal, let's give him a statue. If he's somebody in the modern day that was unjustly killed by the police, but that did some crime like, 10 years ago or something, no, he doesn't deserve a statue, no. You got yourself celebrating that guy. It's stupid, right? It's that bullshit elementary school level history that people keep latching onto. And frankly, it's annoying and retarded. Yeah, I used ableist language. I went politically incorrect. Because it's the only kind of language those people understand. Right? So what should we do with that day? Well, as Neil deGrasse Tyson put it, Columbus did unite the world. He did, how he did it and what came after was pretty bloody. It wasn't, a bunch of hippies all getting together singing Kumbaya. There was a lot of disease and a lot of genocide and stuff like that. But, the Native Americans aren't all gone. And their cultures aren't all gone. Their tribal identities aren't all gone, And that's especially true in, South America more so than it is in North America. But, they still exist here in North America as well. If Europeans didn't eventually come to the Americas, the Native Americans would have probably started with speciation. Neanderthal was not human, not Homo sapien, that is. It was a sort of cousin of ours. We shared a common ancestor with Neanderthal. So if Native Americans had been left alone long enough, they might have become a different species of human as well. Right? What Columbus did when he went there, and then all the other Europeans followed suit. They all kind of started mating with each other, right? They all started mating with each other. There's evidence that there were diseases being spread, STDs being spread by both sides. So what he did was he united humanity. And really that was the start of globalization. Now the people that hate globalists are, in fact, praising the man that started globalism between Europe and the Americas. Isn't that amusing? Isn't that hilarious? Complete and utter inconsistencies in their thinking. But hey, that's just how things are. That's just how they are. They don't grasp complex ideas. And so, yeah. So I think that instead of it being Columbus Day or Indigenous Peoples Day, it should just be a day to celebrate the coming together of humanity, the sort of globalization effort of humanity. And I think that's what it should, it should all come down to at the end of the day. Not just, celebration of one man or of one peoples, but a celebration of all peoples and the globalization effort. So that's my thoughts on Columbus Day. Peace.